William Shakespeare was born in April of 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. Like other babies in this time and place, little William was probably given a taste of honey and butter right after he was born, followed by a healthy serving of jellied hare's brains for strength. A hare is a mammal that resembles a large rabbit. On April the 26th, the infant Shakespeare was then carried down to the nearby church to be baptized into the Christian faith. In Shakespeare's time, nearly 20% of babies didn't live past their first month. Shakespeare's father, John, and his mother, Mary, had already lost 2 daughters before William was born. They did everything they could to make sure young William would grow up healthy and strong. William did survive, and he grew into a strong young boy. He lived with his parents, brothers and sisters in a wooden house on a busy street in town. John ran a glove-making shop from the front of their home. Making gloves was an important business in 16th century England. To make a glove. For centuries, gloves have been used for practical reasons like warmth and protection, and for athletic sports like boxing. In the 1300s, women began wearing gloves purely for fashion. These gloves were made out of expensive fabrics like lace and linen. Gloves became so popular that in 1349, glove makers in London formed a guild, their own group of artisans. They called themselves the Worshipful Company of Glovers of London. After Queen Elizabeth I took the throne in 1558, fashionable gloves reached an all-time high. Men and women wore gloves covered in jewels and sprayed with perfume to show their status. In 1638, the Worshipful Company of Glovers of London received a royal charter from the king. The guild exists to this day. Their motto is, "True hearts and warm hands." As a boy, William liked to escape the noise of town and explore the countryside with his brothers and sisters. Right outside of Stratford, lush meadows and pastures, sheep farms and trails were the perfect places for William and his siblings to explore. They spent hours roaming the forest and learning about all the plants, weeds and flowers that sprouted from the ground. Safety was always a concern, even in the woods. Drifters and local outlaws sometimes hid among the trees to avoid capture by local authorities. William and his siblings made sure to stay clear of dangerous people while they roamed the countryside. But that didn't stop the children from exploring. One of their favourite places to visit was an old bone house, or crypt, built in the back of a church. The crypt stored the remains of the town's dead. At the time, the bubonic plague was sweeping through Europe. 1 out of every 10 people in Stratford died. Although William and his siblings couldn't see inside the building, they would sneak around the outside of the crypt and imagine what horrors lay just inside its 4 walls. They'd scare one another silly with made-up stories about the dead people who were buried there. As he got older, William started attending school 6 days a week at the King Edward VI School in his hometown. School was very strict when Shakespeare was a student. The school day started at around 6 or 7 in the morning with daily prayers. Next, students attended classes in Latin, math, or ancient Greek. A breakfast of bread and ale was served at 9, followed by more classes. The children then returned home around 1 for dinner with their families. They came back to school for more classes until 5 at night. William and his classmates only had about 15 minutes each day for recess.